Okay, so we've been doing a lot of good movies that are bad, movies that we're like kind of calling out that are like revered as great film. Great
Those clips have been doing well, and it's very well by our standards. Like, listen, it's still nobody, but like, you know, they've been popping, and I want to make it clear that I do not think that I'm an authority on this topic.
We got takes. That's all we're saying is we got takes.
This is a fat guy, and possible skinhead takes on the movies. You know, like, this is what you're getting.
This is, you clicked, you're here. But we want to do something more positive, and we want to say movies that are redeemable.
Movies that are good, that people like to make you think are not necessarily bad. That's too easy, because it's people always say it's like, oh, bad movies that are actually good. No, it's movies that are people like to devalue and say that they're kind of just like movies. Right. But in reality, they're like the best movies.
Yes. Yes, yeah. And this is the movies I will stand by, and because there was an intersection that we had, and it's M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
So I have two examples. Do you want me to go first?
Well,
I have two examples.
Are there any other ones we need to hit before Sham? Or is it just Sham?
We're doing Sham specific.
Let's go Sham specific.
We've targeted
Night. What's the M stand for? Do you know?
It's got to be something. He's Indian. He's Indian.
Keep going though.
It might just be his name, but my two are the one that I think is really good, and this is a great movie, and I think it's a great metaphor for indoctrination in religion.
Manoj.
That makes sense. Indian name. Is The Village.
Yeah.
That movie, I think I was watching the trailer today, and I was like getting reinformed with it, and I think it is honestly the perfect. It's a little on the nose. A little on the nose.
I think that would be one of his main. People would make that argument against him.
But it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's a perfect analogy for indoctrinating people with fear to keep them in line. The movie is about a colony, and the twist at the end, I really watch it, and I'm like, this is his best film. This is the twist at the end. It's basically keeping people in line using fear of something that does not exist.
For sure.
And it's a beautiful end, and there's a lot. And also, it's the combination of you had a vision. You wanted a analogy for religion and indoctrination, and you killed it. You did it perfectly, and you also made that movie fun.
Yeah.
You made the movie.
It's a good movie.
Fun.
It's an entertaining movie, man.
Yes.
Like The Village was good. You know what? Well, the flip side of that would be Signs. Signs
is awesome.
Here's the thing. I truly don't know this. Do people view Signs as like
it's a joke.
Like a real no, I mean, like, do people view Signs as like a good, notable film? Like an actual benchmark in our generation's history of cinema?
No.
You don't think so? See, I think that's a shame. I think Signs is actually quite good.
I think it's great.
People like to detract from it because you got Mel Gibson, who, hates his wife and hates Jews. Right. And then you got, Joaquin Phoenix, who will throw paint on you for eating a burger. And then he had a little weird kid. That movie was good, dude.
The movie's great.
You really got into the characters. You really related to them, and you felt for them because of how extreme it started, obviously, with like the dude's wife being pinned to a car, like the accident, stuff like that. Like, you were immediately emotionally engaged in that movie. And then it also handled like aliens, this this topic that can be so fucking corny and like the slightest misstep. And I thought they were I thought they did it pretty well. Like, people don't like that they showed the aliens in the end. I'm okay with it.
At the time,
is it okay? Should they have showed the aliens?
At the time, when there's a moment when you're watching, it's like footage from Mexico, and they're showing it on the news, and that's when you're about to see the alien. They basically just like cut over, and then the handy cam.
That was good, dude. That when they show those, like the kind of staticky look on the TVs, and you're watching it like digitized and like kind of pixelated a little bit, and it's just like this thing that moves across. That was a good scene. That was good filmmaking.
It was, but then when you see the alien, because that is probably the climax of the movie.
It is.
You're about to see the alien, and it looks too much like an alien.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
That's what I know. That's like the main point. Do you think if they had not shown the alien, it would have been like completely not even up for debate. It would have been like, yeah, that movie is good. People would be like, that was good.
It's hard to say.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, but it definitely felt a little bit, or they should have just made the alien.
It was on the nose. This is the theme we're going to keep going back to with M. Night. Yeah. Listen, Manoj, he's so good, but sometimes it's like, dude, you gotta. I mean, that's like the whole thing about filming, right? It's like, don't give him 4, give him 2 + 2. You know what I'm saying? Like,
show don't tell.
Yeah, and we're seeing these kind of like booger looking aliens,
right?
And what's the right move? I don't know, but. I thought Signs was good. I thought overall awesome. It was good. I thought it handled the topic well. And thought it was. It's actually kind of scary at parts. If you're watching the first time, it's unsettling, dude. They nailed it.
Even if it like conceptually, and this is the thing, even if conceptually it doesn't quite make sense to you and it doesn't quite add up and you feel like they missed the mark, if a movie is fun to watch, you got to respect that shit.
You got to pay them respect. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let's start. So there's Sixth Sense. We're not even going to go into that.
I have one more.
We're not going to go into the Sixth Sense. It's obviously good. I do. Well, so mine would be Split.
Whoa.
People, I don't know. I feel like at the time people said that Split was a bad movie. If you don't remember, it's the guy with multiple personality disorders. He's secretly living in a place. You hated it. I thought it was good until they did that bullshit twist at the end that it was actually tied into like the other films.
Hated that.
Why'd you hate it?
Because it was corny. It was super corny.
It was a little corny.
It was over the top produced. It looked too good.
Yeah.
And everyone was talking about James McAvoy's performance, and I thought it was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. It was like this. It wasn't like these characters had no depth to it. It was just like watching a guy kind of like be silly and like, I'm a little boy. No, I'm an old lady. You're just like, it's like these aren't real characters.
It was like watching a bad improv show.
Yeah, it was trash, dude. Yeah. Everyone's like, but he was 9 characters. I'm like, yeah, but they're all dog shit.
Yeah,
they're all dog
terrible.
Shit. Yeah. He was horrible in that movie. He was absolutely terrible.
I'll go back with you. That movie sucked, dude.
It did.
That movie sucked. I was trying to like remember it fondly, but it sucked. It was corny. And then going to like the zoo and he gets killed. Dude, fuck that movie.
No, it's bad.
Come on, M. Night. What are you doing, dude?
If you imagine, here's where this is where like to encapsulate how trash it was. If you watch that movie and then you see Bruce Willis at the end, kind of like turns his head, Mr. Glass, that's who it was. And you imagine that character from Unbreakable, you imagine like that's the same character from the film Unbreakable. You're like, oh, you just ruined Unbreakable.
Yeah.
You just went back in time and made a shit movie out of a movie that was awesome. You just
completely negated another film that you made.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was supposed to be the redemption of M. Night, but honestly, he's so polarizing.
Okay.
He's polarizing. People either love or hate his movies, which usually is the sign of like a good artist, right?
It is, and I respect it. I respect it, but I think he sold out for Split because he just wanted a box office.
Dude, M. Night, real talk, M. Night's the David Blaine of movie making.
For sure, he's
the David Blaine.
Yeah,
people can't help but fuck with him, but they're like, okay, like, come on, man, this ain't. You're not making Atonement, like.
You know what though? He executes his vision.
He does.
But I feel like he sold out. I feel like he sold out with Split.
So? Split was bad, dude.
The one that I'm like,
you're right. The characters were so fucking bad. Like his personality, they weren't even interesting. They were like such caricatures of like people. It was purely just to see how many they had to make all of his characters widely different. That was the fatal flaw of that movie. It would have been way more terrifying if he had like 9 kind of similar
of his real personality
that were just like, yeah, this is the greedy version. Yep. This is the violent version. This is the like, I gotta come version. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Just slight deviations of his personality with little different idiosyncrasies would have been great, but they just like, now I'm an old lady. Now I'm
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't be doing this.
I'm in a dress. Now I live in this little cage. Mm-hmm. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who was the girl? Was that Florence Pugh? Who was the girl in that movie?
She was in Thoroughbreds. She's good. She's hot too. She's probably like 19. So
fuck, I don't remember.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
I don't remember her name. God damn it.
Okay, my other redeemable one. I love the movie The Happening. Okay.
Yeah.
The Happening was great.
Sing to me.
Bird Box Bird Box was a ripped version. It was a trash.
Nobody's debating that.
Nobody liked Bird Box. It was a fun movie to watch, but they did like, let's make The Happening. Let's make it a little shittier. Let's explain less and make even less sense.
We're gonna get Sandra Bullock.
We're gonna Sandra Bullock, and everyone loves Sandra Bullock. It's fair. But that movie, Mark Wahlberg was funny in that movie. He was great. Zooey Deschanel was Zooey Deschanel, but it was a perfect role for her. It was awesome. The suicide scenes were incredible. The movie's intense the whole way through. Yeah. There's a lot of great, disturbing scenes in that movie, and it is fun. It is a good time. There is nothing wrong with that movie, and it is I'm not saying it's an A+, but there's a movie called Bird Box, and it is a significantly better movie that's well explained in a wild ride. The Happening was an awesome movie. It was an awesome movie. I love it. And Mark Wahlberg is hilarious and quotably hilarious in that movie. I fuck with it.
The Happening was good, dude. I can't deny you there. We drank all of the seltzers, dude. This is the seltzer dungeon.
Best M. Night Shyamalan movie. What's yours?
Signs.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I haven't seen them all,
people are gonna say The Sixth Sense. Obviously,
yeah, they are.
But
that was his masterpiece.
Signs.
That was his masterpiece. I'll go ahead and say The Sixth Sense was his masterpiece.
No, I know, but I'm saying after that, Signs.
Yeah, I like The Village, but
people like
tomato.